for an electronic connection for Councillor Fully, who's Leone. I'm sorry, late in the day. I didn't mean you to go. Councillor Leone, all those, I'll move that. Seconded by Deputy Mayor. All those in favour, please say aye. To contrary, carried. Don't have an accident. Okay. With great excitement, we're going to move to the health, safety and well-being of everybody here. And the Deputy Mayor has moved us already. And who's healthy? Andy is unbelievably healthy. Well, second. How are we getting on with the full well-beings disappearing? Will we only have health and safety in the future?
Definitely well-being also. Good afternoon, Mr Mayor and councillors. I'll take the report as read, but just would like to highlight 4 points, please, that shows progress since the last reporting. The first one is the reduction in the residual risk of non-compliant health and safety management from critical to high, which is a result of some really good progress made in our key work streams, such as the health and safety management framework, contractor safety management framework, and our key safety requirements in particular. Also, you're receiving for the first time our updated reporting improvements that have been delivered in this report. They include some optimised measures and formatting, and hope that they give you a better overview of the risks and associated controls within council. There's also a 3-year plan for development for the health and safety strategy and objectives outlined in the report, and also just highlighting the contractor safety management framework project is on track. In fact, it's running 1 month ahead of schedule, and we'll be going out to pilot contractors and sites in September, so that is great progress for that. Thank you. Any questions?
Councillor Turner.
Thank you. It's a big question. I tried to read through some of that stuff, but I think we all understand the costs that health and safety is bringing to council. You know, I have people say to me, health and safety is not council's job, but it is our cost. And what I'm trying to say by that is, you know, we look at our roadworks, we look at our, you know, our maintenance of our open spaces and some of our built facilities, and the health and safety regimes we're applying to those are doubling the cost of the bills, etc. The private sector it suffers from the cost of health and safety. We all benefit from the results of it done properly, but the private sector isn't facing the costs that we seem to be facing in you know, this council sector. And then it also leads on as far as our volunteers. We're having trouble keeping volunteers in in our parks, in our community spaces, because the health and safety burden that they only turn up in their time off to weed someone's garden or to trap some pests, and the health and safety protocols we put across them are extraordinary. I was at a meeting a little while ago where it was a farewell to Jack Hobbs at the Botanical Gardens, you know, and the room of volunteers there were all my age or older, in their late 60s, 70s, and, you know, we gave them forms to fill out. I was shown them by one person, you know, have you had a hip job, have you got a pacemaker, have you got a... And these sorts of burdensome parts of that are bringing what we're actually trying to achieve down, you know, it's overburdening it to where it's having an effect on us, a cost-benefit effect. Are you happy after all that? Are you happy that the policies you're working on now at least analyse and try to balance my concerns? Do you consider my concerns reasonable?
Thanks for the question. We do have a duty under the Act to look after our kaimahi, and others includes our volunteers. So what we need to be able to do is to do everything practicable within our power, excluding the cost, to keep our kaimahi and our volunteers safe. We also have a duty, an overlapping duty to the work of our contractors, and we lean in to support some of them as well. However, the private sector do manage their own health and safety, and that cost is with our contractors. We're not forking out costs and funds for private companies at all, but we are supporting them in delivering their duties under the Act.
I think I'm aware that the Health and Safety Act used to have in there quite a few words about reasonable risk, reasonable mitigation at reasonable cost. And that word reasonable has mainly disappeared out of the Act. But I think I'd say that your answer kind of sidestepped what I'm trying to say, which is, do you think we're reasonable in our demands as when it compares to the cost benefit to council and to the people we're trying to protect?
I think we're extremely reasonable, and the cost of a life is far greater than any cost that we're putting towards health and safety measures and controls.
The value of life is, the cost of a life is that the value of that life is dependent on the environment, that the ambience of that life. What I mean is if we're not doing our maintenance, if we're not cleaning our drains, if Auckland Council is not getting, Auckland Transport is not getting around the roads because the cost per square metre of delivering the outcome to other people's lives is also something to measure. Look, I'm not trying to campaign on this here. I'm just trying to bring to the table what I hear from the public, which is, do we really need 5 people on a roundabout, one facing every road with their arms folded, watching traffic, for 3 people to weed? That is unsustainable, and I don't believe it's any more safe or less safe than one person watching. And I wanted to know if the health and safety thing takes that sort of measure into your consideration.
Some of the examples that you're talking about is more Auckland Transport and not Auckland Council. So we're not putting 5 people around a roundabout for one person to weed, just saying that right now. And I think that the measures and the controls that we have in place and the policies and procedures are reasonable, and we're working very mindful of cost.
Last thing, thank you very much. You just triggered. Yes, you're right. I do see different standards of health and safety, and not necessarily between our different CCOs or our family entities, but I can identify some inside our, say, Just Council. So that would be the other thing I would just say, are we making sure that we're applying it uniformly? Or why do I see a discrepancy in the level of that?
That's definitely one of the big pieces of work that we're doing at the moment, is in terms of outlining our key safety requirements, KSRs they're called, and that identifies risks, it defines the risk, and it determines the mandatory controls that would be applied consistently across council where that risk has been identified within a business. That is where we're looking for consistency across the whole of council, and that's a huge improvement for us.
Okay, thank you for accommodating my thoughts.
Good effort. Councillor Hills.
And I was just going to say, is it true that New Zealand unfortunately has more than double Australia's fatalities at work?
That is absolutely correct. We double Australia and triple the UK.
And if we have examples of overzealous, potentially examples, should we be taking them to you guys if we think there may be waste or a balance that can be made?
Absolutely open to hear that.
Thank you.
Councillor Stewart, please.
Thank you. Not sure if this really covers it, but with the health and safety, I'll just give you an example. Prince Regent Park, there's a park in Prince Regent where people have been complaining for many years about a lot of things that are pretty unsafe there. And I just went and had a look a few weeks ago at, there's a slide which has got about 32 steps, okay, and then it's got these plastic covers which have got a split in them. And as you know, if it's little people or even adults going up there, if you've got your shoe in there, you'd trip and you'd break your neck, okay? So they've got a health and safety thing that is around the park and the reserve, and I have got a photo somewhere, but I'll send it to you later, and it's actually a notice from Manukau City Council, the old 2783011 or whatever it was, number, for people to report if there was a health and safety issue. And so that's still there, and people have been ringing it, and of course nobody's answering it. You know, so that's the sort of thing that's happening. There's quite a few health and safety things, and what I hear all the time from the public is quite often we have park staff or staff that are driving by or walking past things, and they see things and they won't report it unless somebody actually picks up the phone and reports it. You know, so maybe it's a culture. We now have to have a health and safety well-being thing where even the staff, if they happen to see something, they should report it and get it sorted, because we could have somebody that breaks their neck. Now, I've only just, our CEO, Phil Wilson, was walking with Councillor Williamson and I down the walkway just near Bledisloe, and I pointed out, and I think it was the first time you'd probably walked down that way, I don't know, but there was a sign, there's a few signs there that are so low, down there only about like 4 foot high or whatever, that you could take your eye out, and we you know, we've seen people just about walk into these and nearly take their eyes out. So we actually need to have our staff and well, everybody needs to report stuff, and so we do have a health and safety and well-being, but it just seems to be something that we're you know, missing out on.
Can I just
so really,
reply to
that's all I'm saying, is that I think, you know, health and safety, we're all in it together, and quite often you have people that are driving past things and they see something that's really unsafe, and even staff, they must go past it hundreds of times, and nobody reports anything. So we need to have a better culture, and we need to have people that start reporting stuff, because we could have somebody that, as I said, somebody could fall down and break their neck and end up in a wheelchair.
Councillor, I'm delighted to confirm that I've reported those signs that you and I and Morris saw on the way down here.
Thank you, Phil. I totally support you, and absolutely improving our culture of reporting is one of the things that we would really support and drive. It's really hard to fix things that you don't know about. And all staff, including councillors, do have access to our reporting system, DoneSafe, and you can go on there every day, 24 hours a day, and report any incident or hazard, and it would be triaged through Auckland Council Health and Safety team.
Yeah, and just one other thing, which is sort of health and safety as well, I guess, is, you know, just the other day I had somebody, they're talking about illegal dumping, and it's a bit of a health and safety thing, and there was a staff member or somebody from Waste Management, was picking up some stuff that had been reported as illegal dumping, and about 4 feet away from it, there was another lot of illegal dumping, but because it hadn't been the stuff that had been reported, they didn't pick it up. And they said, well, we can't pick that up unless a member of the public rings up and reports it. So I think, once again, maybe for health and safety, I know it's an audit report or whatever, but I think it's important. We need to start having people wake up, and if you see something that needs to be, and you're a staff member or whatever, you shouldn't have to wait for a report to come in, really. If you see something and it's looking dangerous or whatever, report it yourself, but pick it up and take it away, or come back and get it if you haven't got enough on your load. Anyway, that's enough. Thank you. I'm finishing up, so I'm just getting my little bits out now. Simon Wilson might even report on it. Doesn't do it much to me.
I think with some safety, you can retire and look after your health in the seats behind. And I'm opening this to debate, if there is any debate. It sounds like a debate from the last two, but it was very interesting.
Sorry.
No, I enjoyed that. It was right up there with Councillor Turner. I could see I reminisce of the days when it was reasonable health and safety. Yeah, that was before we started killing people. All those in favour? Contrary? It's carried 1-0, but that's a victory. I need to have an extension of time, please. And moved and sense of time from Sharon and the Deputy Mayor. All those in favour? Aye. Contrary? Me. And noes have it. We can go home. No. Item 15. Moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by somebody else. Councillor Henderson. Any debate on this, or do I also, all those in favour, please say aye. Rightio, and now we're going to go into secrecy. Mover for that. Sorry, I'll let you know if there's anything really secret there, Mr Wilson. Councillor Hills and Councillor Baker are going to move us into secrecy. So from now on, this is an item C1. I know I've got to stop while we go into...
You haven't put that motion yet.
I did. All those in favour say aye. Contrary.
You need to adjourn for...
We're adjourning for 4 or 5 minutes so that we can adjust our codes.